Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Newmarket Racecourse here on Sunday. It is May the 6th, 2018. Gonna look at the group races, the stakes races on today's program from Newmarket, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Let's get on to it. Gonna look at the group races, race 2 and the featured fourth race, which is the 1,000 Guineas. So let's get on to it. Race number 2, the 220 from Newmarket. It's the Group 2 Dahlia Stakes. It's a Class 1 race going for a purse of $142,000. This race is for 4-year-olds, fillies, mares only. Field of 8 horses going the 1,800-meter trip, or 1 mile and 1/8 on the Newmarket Rolly Mile Turf Course. My top selection in this race, I like the number 1 horse, Woodia. I'm going to go 148 in the tricast of the trifecta. 148 tricast trifecta. Top pick number 1, Woodia. 4-year-old filly by Dubowie. William Buick is on this Charlie Appleby trained 4-year-old filly by Dubowie. This horse's most recent outing came on the 4th of November at Del Mar. 1 mile and 1/8, same distance as today in the Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Turf. This horse won by a length that day. It was an all-out finish at the end, but this horse just got there and had a great turn of foot. You know, it was an all-around great race. Major improvement off her start before, which came in the Prix de l'Opera at Chantilly, Monoquarter, October the 1st. This horse finished 4th by a half a length and just couldn't catch Rhoda Rondon, who actually next started out, finished 2nd behind this horse, but this horse just couldn't get in front of her that day in France. And then the Rock Matron Stakes at Leopardstown, 1 mile, 10 of the 9th. Horse finished 4th by 1.5 lengths that day, and just couldn't catch the horses in front of her. Really never quickened up at all. But if you look at her races in 2017, she had a bit of a late start. She didn't start her first start in 2017 wasn't until the 14th of July. That came at Newmarket here on the July course, 1 mile in the Falmouth Stakes. This horse finished 2nd by 1/4 length span, Roly Polar. She ran her hard that day for first off layoff. Then next start she ran 3rd in the German Oaks and then finished 4th at Leopardstown. But it took her a lot of time to get going. But I think here, her last race was very good, even though off the layoff. I think here today she should run a big one. This race is not nearly as tough as some of the other races she ran last summer, so watch out for this horse to run a big one. So to recap my bets for the second, the 220 from Newmarket, it's the Group 2 Dahlia. I'm going to go with the 1 horse Woodia. I'm going to go 148 in the tricast of the trifecta. So now let's get on to today's 4th race, the 335. It's the featured of the afternoon. The 335, it's the 1,000 Guineas Stakes. It's Group 1 race for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $739,000. That's in American currency, so don't get confused. This race is for 3-year-old fillies only. Field of 15 horses going the 1,600-meter trip, or 1 mile on the Rolly Mile Turf Course. My top selection in this race, I like the 5 horse Happily. I know she's the favorite, but I just really think she should run well. I'm going to go 5-12-7 in the tricast, the trifecta. 5-12-7 tricast trifecta. Top pick number 5, Happily, 2-1 here. 3-year-old filly by Galileo. Ryan Moore's on this one for Aidan O'Brien. Aidan O'Brien yesterday won the 1,000 Guineas, 2,000 Guineas yesterday very nicely. Did he win the Derby yesterday? We'll have to figure out very soon, because this video is being recorded before the Kentucky Derby, so he might have won the Derby on Saturday also, but we'll just have to wait and see. But this Happily at the Strio filly by Galileo, Ryan Moore's on this one. She had a disaster race at Del Mar, 1 mile, November 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. She finished 4th by 16 lengths that day, was 5-2 favorite at post time, and this horse had a horrible trip on that very tight turf course. Had to steady a few times and never had a good place to run. Ideally, the Ryan Moore at Del Mar this year during last year's Breeders' Cup, he didn't give on the turf courses. He didn't give the best rides. I've noticed that with Ryan Moore, when he doesn't know a turf course, when he doesn't really ride it very well. He did something very similar here in America at Churchill on Saturday, riding a race 2-3 pence or whatever the horse was. He was stuck on the rail most of the race. Well, not stuck on. He rather went on the rail on the outside. If you have to know Churchill, when it rains, all the water goes to the inside. He should have took the horse wide, but the ride he gave Happily wasn't the best ride. I wouldn't put it on his highlight reel. It just wasn't his strongest outings. But before the race for Happily came at Chantilly in France, 1st of October, 1 mile in the Prix Jean-Luc Gardier Stakes. Horse won by 1.25 lengths. This horse quickened up nicely and had a very nice victory, beating the boys that day. And then before that, in the more Glare, Stud Stakes at Curra, 7 furlongs September the 10th. Horse won by nose, quickened up nicely and beat a very nice group of horses that day. I believe that Aidan O'Brien might have been the 1, 2, 3 in that race also, like he is in many races in Ireland. I like this horse here a lot today. 2 to 1. I don't think it's not the best of prices, but I think you're gonna have to take it. Watch out for this horse to have a major improvement. So to recap my bets for the 4th, 335 for Newmarket's Group 1000 Guineas. Gonna go with the 5 horse Happily. I'm gonna go 5, 12, 7 in the tricast of the trifecta. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.